My name is Gabriel. I'm 21. I don't really know much, but been doing a lot of thinking, been doing a lot of reading. I love discourse and debate. I love theology, I love philosophy. So I'm starting this channel as sort of a means to get my thoughts out, to articulate ideas, and hopefully to invite discourse. And if somebody disagrees with me, to start a conversation, because I love to grow. And one of the best ways I think to grow is by listening to another person and having a debate with them or having a conversation with them, friendly, respectfully, intellectually. So I hope this is an avenue where that sort of dialogue can happen. That's kind of what I want to get out of this channel. I love the Lord. I am a Christian, so beware. It's going to be a large majority of the stuff that I post is going to be regarding Christianity or religion in general, apologetics, you name it. Maybe books I'm reading currently. Maybe I'll make some book reviews. Yeah, we'll see where this goes. For now, I'll do a very brief top 3 theology books that I've read this year. Number 1, Knowing God by J.I. Packer. Deep in theology, yet very practical with how he intertwines theology and doxology. And what I mean by that is the knowledge of God should flow seamlessly into worship of God. In fact, you can worship God deeper and with your mind when you dig deep into the scriptures, into theology, and understand who God is, his nature, his character, his quality. He displays this perfectly by, at the end of every chapter, or most every chapter, he ends it with like a stanza or a paragraph from a doxology or a hymn or a poem that perfectly summarizes in worship form what was just read in that chapter. He touches on several theological topics, such as the nature of God, going into the Trinity. He touches on a lot of God's attributes, like his justice, his love for us, his wisdom, his grace. So that's Knowing God by J.I. Packer. Faith Alone, The Doctrine of Justification by Dr. Thomas Schreiner. Probably the hardest book that I read this year, but it was very fruitful. Schreiner gives an overview of the history of this doctrine. He starts all the way from the first century onwards to the patristic era, to the Reformation, to the Puritans, all the way to contemporary figures in theology. And he even comments on some particular theologians like N.T. Wright and spends a good deal commenting on their views of justification. He spends the second half or so of the book doing a biblical, pretty rigorous exegesis of this doctrine. He goes through several passages and defends the doctrine of justification by faith alone, sola fide, to a really good degree. On the Incarnation by Athanasius, I read it a couple times this year. C.S. Lewis, in his preface, talks about how readers should go to the primary sources, to authors like Athanasius, to hear what they say. That's what I did. I listened to him, and I'm all the better for it because this book was digestible. It was short, like I said, but it was extremely dense, extremely helpful. Athanasius goes through the entire Bible in a very short amount of time, describing creation, the fall, man's need for a savior. He talks about the divine dilemma, which is God's justice at odds with his mercy and grace. Those are both attributes that God has, and they seem at odds, and he says that Christ is the answer. The God-man is the solution to that dilemma, where God's justice is fulfilled and his mercy is fulfilled in us when Christ takes our punishment. So this was an edifying book. Would highly recommend. I look forward to going in depth on more books. Maybe I'll do a book review next. I don't know. But yeah,